Ever since the announcement that James Gunn and Peter Safran would be rebooting the DC universe with DC Studios, it's always been an uphill battle in the eyes of hardcore DCEU fans and even most skeptics and fans in general because it is such an uphill battle. But apparently behind the scenes, it's also a uphill battle, and by all accounts, things are already starting to paint a picture of DC Studios and the DCU being in shambles. This time last year, James Gunn and Peter Safran unveiled a rough idea of Chapter 1 of the DC Studios DCU slate, aka Gods and Monsters. This wasn't the entire thing, it was a part of it, and obviously there's been a lot of questions as to why some of these projects are happening, like Creature Commando, Swamp Thing even, and countless others like The Authority. Now, of course, we haven't seen any projects, so let's not judge it just yet. But during the time, we've heard that it's been stop and go on some projects, and there hasn't been a lot of movement on others. So what is happening? Well, due to a recent report courtesy of Jeff Snyder over on the Hot Mic Show, he mentions that according to his sources, the DCU is a mess. And he doesn't elaborate any further, but we know that this guy is one of the most trusted, reputable sources out there. He puts his reputation as somebody that's worked at major outlets on the lines, and when he says something like this, you gotta take notice. Now, in the past, he's stated things in relation to Marvel Studios that people didn't believe, good and bad. That all turned out to be true. Like, he has like a 95% hit rate with his scoops. And he does like one a week maybe, so when he puts something out there, it's a lot more trustworthy, I would say, than other people that are dropping 5 scoops a day in some cases. So if we really look at this and kind of take a step back, a mess can be interpreted in many ways. But obviously, it's an uphill battle. Every DC film since the Batman has been a bomb. That means that the brand is literally in the hole. If you were any other studio, you would pull back, but they're not because they're committed, and this is sort of how you got to look at it. It's going to be stop and go and very carefully assessing everything. And yeah, Superman might be getting off the ground fine. It's a James Gunn project. He hasn't had that much of a hard time getting his projects off the ground, but what happens when somebody comes in there that wants to do their own thing? And now things got to change because there's potential buyouts, there's other contracts, there's still embargoes now. You're just back at where you were before, and you got to work through this. So hopefully we hear more and they elaborate a little more, but this is really concerning.